If you look up at the ceiling of your favorite, like, high-end restaurant, you might spot what looks like a sleek, modern black chandelier. But it's actually solving this incredibly frustrating physics problem in commercial architecture.
Right, the problem of how to pump out rich, room-filling bass without, vibrating the dust right out of the rafters.
Exactly. Welcome to today's deep dive. We are looking at a spec sheet from HDTVSupply for a really highly specialized piece of gear. It's the QSC AD-P-SUB-BK 6.5-inch Pendant Subwoofer.
Which is a bit of a mouthful, I know. But for you, the listener who loved uncovering the hidden mechanics of everyday spaces, our mission today is to decode why this specific $645 ceiling hanging cylinder is basically an engineering marvel disguised as decor.
Yeah, calling it an acoustic chandelier feels pretty fitting. Its core job is to deliver depth and clarity at low volumes for background music. But what stood out to me immediately was the IP34 rating.
Oh, the dust and water resistance?
Yeah. Why does an indoor restaurant speaker need to survive water?
Well, it's because of where it lives. Up in the open architecture of a ceiling, it's totally exposed. You've got industrial HVAC systems kicking out condensation, circulating dust, and it's often positioned right near fire sprinklers.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and it's part of QSC's AcousticDesign Series, so it's built to survive that harsh overhead environment while perfectly matching the acoustic signature of the other speakers in the room. You really don't want the actual sound profile to change as you walk from, say, the dining area to the lobby.
Right. You want a seamless experience.
Yeah.
But hanging a subwoofer in midair, I mean, that usually introduces a massive logistical problem. To get sound everywhere, you typically have a spider web of wires running all over the ceiling.
Which architects absolutely hate.
Exactly. Yet this model features 4 built-in high-pass filtered outputs.
Okay, let's unpack this. Isn't that just acting like a fancy power strip for audio?
What's fascinating here is that it's much more like a sonic traffic cop. The main amplifier sends the entire full-range audio signal down one single wire to this subwoofer.
In one wire. Just one. The sub takes that signal, plays the 50 to 150 hertz bass frequencies through its own 100-watt woofer, and then that high-pass filter kicks in.
So it's actively splitting the sound.
Exactly. It physically blocks those heavy bass frequencies from moving forward, sending only the crisp, high frequencies out to up to 4 smaller satellite speakers.
Wow, got it. So instead of running 5 separate cables from the amp room across the entire building, you just run one line to the sub, and it acts as this local command center.
Right, which drastically cuts down on the amplifier channels you need, and, it keeps the ceiling beautifully clean.
Which brings us to the really obsessive efficiency under the hood. For the folks actually climbing the ladders, this unit includes slip-lock fasteners and a snap-fit magnetic grille. It even has a blemish-free, removable logo.
It really is built for the installer.
Yeah.
But the internal mechanics are what really shine, I think. Take the dual voice coil, for example.
Yeah, I saw that in the specs for, quote, better thermal dissipation. But if this is just playing background jazz, why on earth does it need heavy-duty cooling?
Well, think about the workload. In a commercial space, this speaker is vibrating continuously for 14 hours a day, every single day.
Oh, right. That is a lot of constant motion.
Yeah, and the dual coil essentially acts as an internal exhaust system for the heat generated by that constant low-frequency movement. It prevents the internal components from warping over years of use.
That definitely explains the longevity. There's also a low-loss 70 or 100-volt transformer with a 4-ohm bypass. I know 70-volt systems are standard in commercial spaces, but how does that actually help the installer?
So in a home theater, your speaker wire is maybe 10 feet long. In a retail store, it might be hundreds of feet.
Right, massive distances.
Exactly. A standard low-voltage signal would just lose all its power before reaching the end of the line. Stepping the voltage up to 70 or 100 volts allows the signal to travel those massive distances without dropping off.
And the bypass.
The bypass just gives the installer the flexibility to use a standard direct connection if they happen to be wiring a smaller, closer zone.
Got it. And to tie it all together, there's the software side, right? The intrinsic correction voicings deployed via QSYS platforms.
Yeah, think of intrinsic correction as a totally preloaded mathematical acoustic profile.
Yeah.
Rather than an installer standing on a ladder for hours, manually adjusting the EQ to make the bass and the satellites play nicely together, the software just does it.
It does the heavy lifting instantly.
Exactly. It automatically applies the exact tuning needed for this specific hardware.
So bringing this all together, this Pendant Subwoofer is basically a masterclass merging rich acoustic performance with ruthless installation efficiency. It solves the wiring problem, it manages its own heat, and it tunes itself.
Yeah, it's the hidden plumbing, making sure the environment sounds exactly as the architect intended.
Totally. Here's a final provocative thought for you to mull over.
Yeah.
We spent this entire time talking about how brilliant this hardware is at hiding in plain sight. But as wireless power transmission and, acoustic metamaterials continue to rapidly evolve, you have to wonder, will we even need these centralized hubs in the future?
That is a great question.
Or will the very walls and ceilings of our commercial spaces eventually become the speakers themselves?